Hey, everybody, it's me, Ken Heckenlively, with Twice as Lively. And as I have said, we will hopefully start every broadcast with a good cup of coffee. I know it's a little afternoon. I had to do a couple things this morning, so getting a little bit of a late start. But here it is, episode 11, which I thank my students. That coffee is so good. Pete's Coffee. Remember, always Pete's is the best. No, they're not a sponsor. Not yet, at least. Okay. So a couple things that we're going to be covering today. So today is my first official day of retirement. Yes. On Friday, I spent a couple of hours cleaning up my room and signed the final papers, handed them my keys. So I am officially done with 20 years of teaching. So, yeah, everybody's been asking me how I'm feeling about it. And the quick answer to that is I've been moving so fast that I haven't really had time to feel. And I think that's kind of a good strategy. That may be more of a male strategy than a female strategy, but it's my strategy. So it's been a very nice couple days, a lot of stuff going on. I see a couple students have joined me and have said some very kind things. And so what I had told them that I would do at the at the end of the year was I said, I would love it if you gave me some cards. If you were thinking of doing that, that would be just wonderful. And I promised to do something with them. I have all of them right here. And so what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to start randomly reading through them. And, hopefully I won't break down in tears or something like that. But it really is just I do want to take some time to appreciate the time that I had as a science teacher and all the things that I learned and the skills hopefully I developed. But kind of a day of celebration, reflection. So I got this one that said, "Wow, hi, Mr. Heckenlively, you're an amazing teacher. Good luck with retirement." Let's see. Another one that says, "You're amazing. Continue teaching for years to come, Mr. Heckenlively." And yeah, I feel like when I think about it, I'm just teaching to a different audience. Okay. And then I got one from the secretary at the front office, Trina, saying, "Kent, thank you for always filling my candy jar." All right. So I've got this file here. I guess I should show it to you of cards from people. So I got this one, "Go Griffins." So it said, "Kent, congratulations on your retirement. Enjoy all the adventures that are to come. Thank you for the care and heart that you have dedicated to our school. We wish you the best. The GR staff." Okay, so that is, that's the official card. Okay, so now let's go to the student cards. Okay, so I got this one. "To Mr. Heckenlively, thank you so much for being my science teacher. I am so lucky to have you as a teacher, and I have learned many wonderful things from this class. It is clear that you are the hardest working man in education. P.S. Good luck on your podcast." Okay, see? I made a promise and I'm coming through. Okay, these kind of cards I really love when students write a whole bunch in it. So, "Wishing you a wonderful retirement and thank you so much for all the help. You are such an inspiring teacher. You will never be forgotten by me and so many others. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, your energy and kindness makes every class enjoyable, and I sincerely appreciate all the extra effort you put into teaching us. I deeply admire your strength, encouragement, and how you make science so fun and engaging. Your support truly meant a lot to me this year. Thank you for being more than just a teacher. You are a true mentor and in you're a true mentor and inspiring role model. You know, that really makes it all worthwhile, right? Okay, so next one. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, I was so happy for you being my science teacher this year. I am very sad that you are retiring, but you would be a wonderful author on a podcast, which is really cool. Have a wonderful summer with your family. Yeah, I am having a good summer with my family. My family's awesome. They rock. Okay. This one, Mr. Heckenlively. Hi. Thank you so much for being my teacher this year. Thanks to you, I understand most of the concepts. Best of luck in the rest of your life, and I know that you will do great things. Okay. This was the mystery machine that was on front of my door. I have no idea who in leadership made this, but leadership would always do these cool things for all the teachers. And I guess the thing they thought about for me was Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Machine, which, since I teach science, and science is a mystery that we're trying to solve, I really appreciate this. I always thought this was really cool that I had this on my door. Okay, and then when you're a teacher, you always get Starbucks cards for kids. Let me see if they said how much it was. Nope. I guess I'll just have to go to Starbucks and find out. Okay, then I got this one. Thank you, dear Mr. Heckenlively. You are the best teacher ever. We will miss your random stories and your fun presence. We wish you luck for your podcast, Twice as Lively. Thanks for being such a great teacher. Okay. And when you get a card like this, you just say to yourself, wow, somebody worked really hard. Okay. So it says, thank you so much, Mr. Heckenlively. We miss you. Dinosaurs and Godzilla rule. Classes of 2025 and 2026. The hardest working man in education. Triceratops skull. Okay, so I guess it's this. Pretty cool, huh? All right. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, thank you for teaching me this year. Have a great summer and retirement. Okay, I got this one. Thank you. It was a pleasure being in your class. Thank you for all your kindness and support. Wishing you all the very best in your future endeavors. Okay, got another Target gift card. All right, this one. Thank you, Mr. Heckenlively. Oh, look at that. They've got a raptor. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, thank you for teaching me about science and giving out cookies. Yes, that's because whenever I had a sub, I would tell the students, look, I don't make deals for good behavior, but I do reserve the right to show my appreciation if I get good notes from the subs. So there's no deal for good behavior, but I do reserve the right to show my appreciation. So, dear Mr. Heckenlively, thank you for teaching me about science and giving out cookies. I liked working together on many projects like the Gale, like the drawing Gale Ranch in 1826 and 2026. Oh yeah, that was a project I did, which was like, was the wildlife like around our school 200 years ago, and what is it like today, and why is it that humans have changed the wildlife in our area, causing the extinction of some local species, and what might we do to get those back? Specifically, what the kids were pretty surprised to find out is that the area around San Ramon used to have grizzly bears and wolves and elk. That was that was the big lesson there. Only a couple made the mistake of putting woolly mammoths in the environment 200 years ago, but you know, that's kind of cool too. Okay, so another card. Thank you, Mr. Heckenlively. Mr. Heckenlively, I would like to thank you for the amazing year and the fun I had. I hope your retirement goes well. Thank you. Another one to Mr. Heckenlively. Thank you. Ooh, this one is really good. Look, it's got dinosaurs. As you can tell, I like dinosaurs. All right. Thank you, Mr. Heckenlively, for your hard work. I really liked your assignment layout and questions. I like how you gave us cookies and explained chapters. One of my favorite units was plants because I just like plants. See, on this picture, on this side, he's got what's Mr. Heckenlively doing? What is this? The dino potion. I'm feeding him Oreos. Behind the scenes, mixing chemicals and made dino potion. Also, sorry for these drawings. Mr. Kent feeding an orangutan an Oreo. Yes, our ecology unit asked whether the palm oil used in Oreos was killing orangutans and how we might protect orangutan populations in Indonesia. And so it ends up saying, thank you to the hardest working man in education. Yeah, that was always a little bit that I would do. When they'd hand papers in, I would try to get them back very quickly. And when they would come in, I would take all the papers out and I'd slam it down on the table and I'd say, just because I am the hardest working man in education, every single paper that you have turned in has been graded and put into the grade book. And if I'd made any mistakes, please come and let's fix it today. So that was always sort of fun. So they always grew to like me slamming the papers down on the desk and saying I am the hardest working man in education. Okay, so we got this one. Thank you. Says, dear Mr. Heckenlively, thanks for a wonderful year. I love that you are always so funny. You always brighten my day and make science better and better. Have a great summer, and I hope to see you again sometime. Gale Ranch will miss you. Okay, another one. Thank you so much. Thank you for being my science teacher. And that was it. Okay, this one. A lot of work. Hey, you're a great science teacher, and I'll miss you very much. You'll always be the best science teacher. Hope you have a great summer from 6th period. Okay, how about this one? Ooh, aliens. Maybe they read my book, Catastrophic Disclosure. Okay, thank you, Mr. Heckenlively. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, thank you for being so much for being such a good science teacher this year for all you've done. It's sad to see that this is your last year, but I wish the best of luck on your career as an author. I'll never forget all the treats you gave the class. I could never get enough of your stories, too. Overall, I was so grateful to have you this year, and thanks for your time. Oh, that just makes you feel warm and fuzzy. Okay, another one. Thank you, Mr. Heckenlively. Dear Ms. Heckenlively, I want to thank you for being such a fun teacher. I really liked it when you made learning fun. I really liked the photosynthesis and cellular respiration thing that we did. Nice. Another one. Dear Mr. Heckenlively. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, thank you for this amazing year. Thank you for teaching me all the science I need. Thank you for all the treats that you gave me. Thank you for letting us pick our own seats. Thank you for letting me switch to your class. The administration did that. You are amazing. You're really good at your job. You are the person that keeps me going. Thank you. I in the month before I left, I was gone for 2 days. So they got a bunch of cookies. So notice there's a cookie theme here. But I really probably took 4 days, 4, maybe 5 days um, during the school year. But I think cookies were on their mind because it happened like 3 weeks before I left. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, thank you for a great year. I've really enjoyed all the learning. Also, the cookies were very tasty and soft. Yeah. If you're going to give kids cookies, give them the good stuff. My favorite moment this year was the stories that you share with us. Yeah. Yeah. That's one of my thoughts about education. And is that if you are going to make an impression on students, they're going to feel like they know you. You know, so you tell them stories about your life. It's not the really personal ones. It's not stories that if it gets out, you're going to be embarrassed by it. But I always enjoyed telling stories that are somewhat self-deprecating, when I tried to do something that didn't work out. And education is all about having the courage to try new things. And I always thought that educators should model that by showing kids, especially younger kids, who, walk into the class terrified of that adult because there's such a power imbalance. And so, what you need to do as an educator, in my mind, is you need to address that power imbalance. And humor is a good way to address that power imbalance, show that you don't consider yourself to be above them. You're just a little bit older and you're the coach helping them out. And that was always the way I felt about it. Okay, got another cookies one. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, oh, I like this one. Full of heck and twice as lively. Dear Mr. Heckenlively, I really appreciate you because you always make learning fun and the cookies, but mainly because you are funny. You are one of my favorite teachers ever. Happy retirement. Oh, and look, the story I told about the tree nearly falling on me? Well, I told that story to them too. I said, "You're lucky to have me as your teacher today because I could have been in the hospital." So, see, kids do listen. Oh, look at this one. Goodbye, Mr. Heckenlively. Thanks for the cookies. Another dinosaur themed one. Goodbye and thanks for the cookies. Okay. Let's see. You got. Thank you. Happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Okay, and this was going on. Give this to a staff member who clearly loves teaching. I got a couple of those. Then I got this one. Hi, Mr. Heckenlively. Thank you for being my teacher this year. Thank you for being my teacher this year. I enjoyed learning about different science concepts throughout the year, and I've gained so much insight and knowledge. Best of luck with retirement. To Mr. Heckenlively, happy Teacher Appreciation Week. Ooh, look at this one. Again, a dinosaur theme. Yes, I like dinosaurs. Thank you so much for a fun year of science. Unfold the card for a full picture. Yes. Thank you so much for an exciting year of science. Make science fun and easy to understand. Yeah, that's another point. I always am a big fan of Einstein's comment that anybody who really understands a topic should be able to explain it to a reasonably intelligent 10-year-old or young person. I've always thought that, which is why if my students looked like they didn't understand it, that was always a sign to me to say, hey, maybe I don't understand it. Let me see, where am I messing up? Okay. You make science fun and easy to understand, and you are very funny. Thank you for not being a boring teacher. I am so sad that you are retiring. P.S. Good luck with your books. Oh, and this one is just so nice. Thank you for being the best speech and debate teacher ever. Happy retirement. Science, Mr. Heckenlively. Mr. Heckenlively, you are a very funny and entertaining teacher. You teach differently than other teachers, but I learn more from you. I hope you have a great retirement. Thank you for a great year. Hmm. Teach differently than other teachers. Hmm. Has that ever been said to me? Has that ever been said to me by another teacher? Why aren't you more like me, Mr. Akinlad? Because you're boring. That's why I don't want to be like you. Okay. Okay. That's another card. I love cards like this. You know, dear Mr. Ekin thank you for being an amazing science teacher for me this past seventh grade year. I appreciate you for your hard work of grading our papers so quickly and your dedication. Yeah, that's another kind of pet peeve of mine, which is I hate it when teachers tell students, well, class, this will not be graded, but it's good for you to do it. And you should learn to just love your work. And I'm like, have you ever met a 12-year-old? Have you ever met a 13-year-old? Or have you ever met a human being for whom incentives matter? So it's not just 12 and 13 years olds, but if the school district said to a teacher, we can only pay you for 2 days of teaching, but we wanted you to teach for 5 because we know you love teaching, the schools wouldn't have any teachers. Okay. So grades are like money to students. So now that I'm out of education, now that I don't have to worry about getting in trouble by saying things that don't align with certain people, let me say, if a teacher assigns work to a student, that teacher damn well better give that student credit. Okay? It's my view. I'm out of education, but now you know. That's what was going on in my brain. All right. Another one. Dear Mr. Eckenlively, thank you for being an amazing and fun seventh grade science teacher. We will miss you and have a great retirement. Ooh, look at this one. Nice. Artwork. Artwork. Yes. Dear Mr. Eckenlively, I appreciate how you make our class fun and interactive. Your passion for science makes it very easy for us to understand topics. Yeah. Yeah. Don't be bored by your subject. If you're going to teach your subject, you should act like it's the most exciting thing in the world. Now, luckily, science is the most exciting thing in the world, so it was easy to teach. But some people don't have that, and they shouldn't teach science. Okay. You are a great teacher, and this is one of my favorite classes. Thank you. I hope you have a great summer and a wonderful retirement. This one says, Dear Mr. Eckenlively, thanks for an amazing year of science. We hear so much about you from something, and sad to hear you're leaving. Oh, I guess this was a parent. Wish you all the best on the days ahead. Kind regards. Happy retirement. Oh, a letter from a parent. Yeah. And I got to say this. Um, in my 20 years of teaching, the parents were awesome. And, maybe I did something that was a little bit different than the other teachers was when there was back to school night uh, and the parents would come in both without the kids, I would tell the parents, I said, look, you and I are collaborators in creating good human beings and good citizens. So I'm going to do what I do, which I think is helping me get your students ready for the next years of school and also to be a good person. But I know that there's a lot going on with kids these days and, and families, and, it's just always been that way. And so I said, look, Uh, you know, if I'm giving your kids some breaks and you think they're taking advantage of me, shoot me an email and say, no, don't do that. They're lying to you because, in middle school, students' brains are developing, and one of the things they develop is the ability to lie pretty effectively. So they can lie effectively to me too, just as they do their parents. So I said, look, if I'm being too nice to your kid, if they're, you think I'm letting them get away with stuff, fine. If I'm being too hard, shoot me an email and say, hey, there's a lot of stuff going on at home. Can you give my kid a break? And I give the kid a break. Okay. Here's another one. Thank you, dear Mr. Heckenlively. I remember the grade like it was yesterday. I had a lot of friends and I had a great time in your class, and you're a great teacher. Oh, I guess this was from a student who was an eighth grader, and I generally taught sixth and seventh graders. I had some eighth graders because I taught forensics and I taught speech and debate. Okay, so another dinosaur. Dear Ms. Heckenlively, thank you for being such a great teacher this year. I'm so lucky I got to you as my teacher this year since you are so cool and smart. I enjoyed listening to your stories. Thank you so much for giving us cookies when we had a substitute. I'm so sad you're retiring since I was hoping to have you for eighth grade too. I enjoyed being your student because you always had such a positive attitude, and I loved hearing your perspective on things. Thank you for the great piece of advice you have shared over the years. I will remember them. Thank you for giving me the Brachiosaurus. Good luck on your books. Great podcast name. And then, this is something that was great. So I was 17 years at the same school, but I was 20 years kind of in the same valley, basically, because I spent 3 years teaching at a elementary school, which fed into the middle school. And so this was really nice. So I got this card from a student thanking me for um, my teaching her this past year. But then her older brother was also one of my students, and so he jumped in on the card. So it says, "Dear Mr. Heckenlively, my name is blank blank, and I am so and so's brother. I had you as my science teacher 7 years ago for sixth and seventh grade science. I heard you were retiring and wanted to write this letter. I am in college now, and I still remember how fun your class was and all the jokes you used to make. I also remember the interesting labs we did. Your class was one of my favorite science classes I have taken, and I am sad to hear you are retiring. I wish you the best of luck on your future plans." And that's the kind of thing I would get. Um, you know, Honestly, some of these other teachers didn't quite get me, but I always felt a lot of love from the students and the families. And when there would be back to school night or open house night, I would always get a lot of nice comments from the parents. They were very happy that I was their child's teacher, and that I was talked about often around the dinner tables. And this is something I would tell the other teachers, anybody who would listen to me. And I said, look, having had kids of my own going through school, it was very clear to me. It was very clear to me that that what teachers did in the classroom mattered. And what I would say to my fellow teachers is I'd say, look, around 185 dinner tables tonight, you are either a superhero or a supervillain. So be aware of how you are interacting with these very nervous, timid students who are really hoping that they are smart enough and have the skills to do well in school, because that's how they're coming in. They may not seem like it matters to them, but it matters a great deal. So please, you know, be gentle with the young souls who you are in charge of. Okay. Are you noticing a dinosaur theme? What actually caused the end of the dinosaurs? Yes. Yes. So the dinosaurs apparently went extinct because they were mixing chemicals the wrong way. Okay. A couple other things. Are you noticing a dinosaur theme? Mr. Heckenlively, thank you for being my teacher. How about this one? Triceratops versus Godzilla. You know, you don't usually get many good Triceratops Godzilla fights, but apparently, in the imaginations of my former students, you do. And then, last but not least, the official greatest science teacher I ever had. Thank you, Mr. Heckenlively. I wish you a great retirement. And it's also got an official UNC certificate. So I'm not sure exactly what the UNC stands for, but there you have it. So yeah, so one part of my life is over, my teaching in the classroom. But now I'm in this classroom. And even though it is day one of my new life, I have already recorded 11 episodes. So, to my former students who may be watching this, remember that I told you that when you try something new, you are going to suck. And the only answer to that is to try to do it as many times as possible so that you get better, because you will always be bad at something when you start, but that only means you just need to keep doing it. So um I end this broadcast, and I don't worry, I'm going to talk more about students and teaching in my future broadcasts, but I really want it to be this broadcast to be, the official time where I say, yeah, yeah, I have retired from teaching in the classroom. Uh, I thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed the students that I met, the parents that I met. I had a lot of friends at the school. And, if there's something I can say about teachers themselves, is there are a lot of teachers who I think don't value themselves enough. They worry a great deal, they beat themselves up over things. And it was my experience with most teachers that they genuinely cared about students and they wanted the best for them. And I one of my philosophical points is that I think it's important to do the very best you can, but then to simply let go of the results. And that's kind of the way I tried to teach, which was when I was in the classroom, when I was in front of students, what was going on was of paramount importance. And I understood that. But once I left the school, I left that behind me. And it's been interesting to see how my learning to do that in my teaching life has also spilled over into other parts of my life. And one of the things that people have complimented me on is my ability to compartmentalize what I'm doing and to focus on what needs to be done. And so, you know, I just think that when you are learning new things, and hopefully we're always learning, we're forever students, is don't beat yourself up about what you don't know. Don't beat yourself up about your inadequacies. Pat yourself on the back about the things that you're learning and the skills that you're acquiring, and have fun with it. Life is fun. Life goes quickly. I'm surprised that I'm 63 years old. That seems old to me, but you know, there it is. You just keep going. You just keep having fun. So, uh, thank you, thank you, thank you to all my former students. Thank you to the parents. Thank you to my fellow teachers. Thank you to the administrators. And I'm just hoping that we will continue this journey together in a different form. All right. Have a great day. Bye bye.